When 9 mongooses were released on an island to eliminate rats, the result was terrifying. Dear friends, in 1872, a ship arrived at the port of Jamaica. It was an ordinary trading vessel carrying various goods. The people watching had no idea that a few animals hidden inside would soon change the environment of the entire Caribbean. The cargo contained neither gunpowder nor weapons. Instead, it carried only 9 small animals, 4 males and 5 females. These animals had been brought from Kolkata, India. They had sharp eyes, long bodies, and lightning-fast movements. They were Indian mongooses. The man responsible for bringing them to Jamaica was a wealthy plantation owner named William Bancroft Espute. He believed he had found the solution to save his failing crops. He thought these animals would rescue Jamaica's economy. But in reality, those 9 mongooses triggered an ecological disaster whose effects are still visible more than 150 years later. The rat problem. During the 19th century, Jamaica was covered with sugarcane plantations. The sugar produced there was exported to Europe. At that time, sugar was often called white gold because of its immense value. Jamaica's economy depended heavily on sugarcane production. Large landowners and merchants earned fortunes from it. However, a dangerous enemy had emerged, not an invading army, but rats. Black and brown rats had arrived on trading ships. Jamaica became paradise for them. The climate was warm, food was abundant, and there were few natural predators. Their population exploded. Millions of rats attacked sugarcane fields at night. They did not merely eat the cane, they destroyed it. They gnawed through roots, causing entire crops to collapse. They also contaminated containers of sugarcane juice by falling into them. As a result, Jamaica's sugar production suffered greatly. At that time, Jamaica produced around 25% of Europe's sugar supply. Plantation owners were losing thousands of pounds every year, a massive
amount of money by the standards of the day, equivalent to billions of dollars today. Farmers feared that if a solution was not found quickly, the island's economy would collapse. Failed solutions. Desperate people often make poor decisions. To solve the rat problem, plantation owners imported various animals. First, a large predatory ant species was brought from Cuba. Instead of attacking rats, the ants began attacking birds and even agricultural workers. Next, thousands of large toads were imported from Barbados. Rather than eating rats, they consumed chicken eggs and beneficial insects. Every experiment failed. Meanwhile, the rats proved surprisingly intelligent. They avoided traps, recognized poisoned food, attacked at night, and hid during the day. It seemed as if the entire island belonged to them. The arrival of the mongoose. At this point, William Espute remembered an animal he had seen in Sri Lanka, a predator known for killing snakes. That animal was the mongoose. Mongooses are incredibly fast hunters. Their reflexes are so quick that they can dodge snake strikes. They also possess a degree of resistance to snake venom. Espute reasoned that if a mongoose could kill snakes, rats should be easy prey. So, in February 1872, the 9 mongooses were released on a Jamaican plantation. Initially, the results seemed miraculous. The mongooses hunted relentlessly. Within 6 months, Espute claimed that rat-related crop damage had been cut in half. The news spread rapidly across Jamaica. Farmers were delighted. Plantation owners celebrated. The mongoose became a hero. People believed they had finally defeated nature. A new disaster begins. Within a few years, mongooses spread across the entire island. Reports suggested they saved the sugar industry millions of pounds. When other countries heard of this success, they imported mongooses as well. They were introduced to places such as Puerto Rico, Cuba, Fiji, and Hawaii. At first, the results looked promising everywhere. Rat numbers declined wherever mongooses appeared. But humans had overlooked a crucial fact. A predator rarely relies on a single prey species forever. When its preferred prey becomes scarce, it seeks alternatives. The ecological collapse. After several years, even Espute noticed that mongooses were no longer hunting rats as actively. The reason was simple. Rats are primarily nocturnal, while mongooses hunt during the day. Initially, rats were abundant and easy to catch. But over time, the rats adapted. They became more active at night and spent more time in trees. The mongooses needed food, so they turned to easier targets. They began killing native lizards and snakes. Then they started raiding bird nests, eating eggs and chicks. Frogs, insects, and other small animals also became victims. Within a few years, Jamaica's forests began to change. Areas once filled with birdsong fell silent. Several native species disappeared forever. A chain reaction. The destruction of birds and reptiles created another problem. Insects that had previously been controlled by these animals began multiplying rapidly. By the 1890s, Jamaica's pastures became overrun with ticks. The situation grew so severe that people could barely walk through grass without ticks attaching themselves to their clothes and bodies. Soon caterpillar populations exploded as well. Birds had once kept these pests under control, but many bird species had been wiped out by mongooses. In 1896, hundreds of acres of crops were destroyed by caterpillar infestations. The mongooses did not eat the caterpillars. Instead, they had eliminated the creatures that once controlled them. The ecological damage continued to spread, disease and human suffering. The disaster was not limited to wildlife. Mongooses also carried dangerous diseases, including rabies and leptospirosis. These diseases threatened both humans and animals. Over time, mongooses helped spread these infections across large areas. Thousands of animals and many people suffered as a result. Attempts to stop them. Eventually, governments realized their mistake. Efforts were made to eliminate the mongooses. Rewards were offered. Poison bait was used. Large-scale hunting campaigns were organized. Nothing worked. Mongooses reproduced too quickly. A female mongoose can begin reproducing at only a few months of age and may have multiple litters each year. Even if 90% of the population was removed from an area, their numbers could recover within a short time. The legacy. Time passed, but the mongooses remained. Today, they still inhabit many Caribbean islands. They are considered one of the world's most destructive invasive species. Many native animals have vanished forever. Several bird species were driven to extinction and have never been seen again. The silence of some forests still bears witness to this ecological tragedy. The lesson: this story is not just about one island. It is a story about human miscalculation. In 1872, those 9 mongooses locked inside a small wooden crate were not merely animals. They were the beginning of a catastrophe. Humans introduced them to solve one problem, but they created a far greater one. Rats damaged crops. Mongooses transformed entire ecosystems. Today, this event is studied in universities around the world. Environmental scientists use it as a powerful example of why people must think carefully before interfering with natural ecosystems. Sometimes, one small decision can cause damage that lasts for more than a century. And Jamaica's mongoose story remains a living reminder of that truth. Note: the original narration contains some dramatic storytelling elements. Historically, the introduction of the small Indian mongoose to Jamaica in the 1870s is real, but some specific figures and claims in the narration may be simplified or exaggerated for documentary-style impact.